This new game is simply incredible. This one is a hidden indie gem. This game has been in development for years, this one is rivaling AAA titles, these two have come out of nowhere, and this is one you would never think is going free to play. Free to play games like Valorant, Fortnite, and League of Legends are becoming more and more popular each year, but what about the completely new games that you haven't tried yet? This is Undercover Dudes, and these are the top 25 new free to play games to play in 2023, so let's get straight into it. Starting out is a new FPS from Fresh and Lazarbeam, and it's called World Boss. In this game, you take on 15 other players in fast-paced arena combat, very much inspired by Fortnite. It's easy to pick up and play with its simple shooter gameplay, but there are upgradable weapons and perks for a roguelite twist. Despite a rocky early access, it's in a decent spot, perfect for casual FPS fans. In essence, Roller Champions is Rocket League but on roller skates, a 3v3 competitive game in the third-person perspective. Graphically, this game is super bright and colourful, very much like Rocket League, and it looks just as good as that game too. The gameplay focuses heavily on speed and getting the ball through tackles and team maneuvers. It's just fantastic arcadey fun. Next is Warlander, a free-to-play multiplayer game that has come out of nowhere. With a focus on squad play and battlefield control, there is a big element of strategy featuring up to 100 players in one match. Now gameplay-wise, it's a combination of MOBA team fighting, knockout gameplay of battle royales, and third-person hack and slash. Check it out. SCP Labrat is a recreation of SCP Contamination Breach, following the original gameplay, but also adding multiple new features to improve the experience. Now this game captures the horror of the original perfectly, both in VR and normal PC gameplay, and there is also single player and multiplayer modes, which is a really nice addition. The dated graphics do bring it down slightly, but overall it's a super solid experience. X-Invader Prologue is the next level of Vampire Survives-like top-down shooters, taking the genre to the next level. This game is straight up chaos. The attacks and enemies completely fill the screen in really the best way possible, largely in part to the awesome effects and visuals. The roguelike gameplay is of course fantastic, especially due to the replayability in short 15-minute playtimes, and then of course add on top of it the great pixel art. For fans of Tarkov or The Cycle, the next one is for you, a third and first person shooter called Lost Light. Similar to those games, you hop into the exclusion zone and try to take out enemies, all while scavenging for supplies and trying to survive long enough to evacuate. Gameplay wise, it's pretty stock standard and the graphics are fairly average too, but the crossplay functionality on mobile definitely makes this one a bit more appealing. In a move that nobody saw coming, The Sims 4 is now free to play on Steam. Not only is it the latest edition of the series, it's got very positive reviews and tons of content, and it's easy to see the years of development that went into it. Unfortunately, you still have to buy the DLCs, but there's more than enough content in the base game, and with its easy to run specs, high quality gameplay, and dedicated community, there's a lot to like here. Next we have the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Ring of Elysium inspired title, and it's called Super People 2. The core concept is battle royale through and through, and the actual game mechanics like moving and shooting feel exactly like PUBG. However, where Super People differs is with the addition of classes, each with unique abilities and perks. Now the branding and relaunch is a bit weird, but the content is definitely there. Check it out. One of the few anime-styled games on this list is Tower of Fantasy, an MMORPG set in a shared open world. Featuring a ton of unique characters, fantasy-filled gameplay, and party functionality, Tower of Fantasy ticks the MMORPG boxes. Unfortunately, it does suffer from gacha mechanics seen in Genshin and as such, but if you get past that, Tower of Fantasy is a cool experience. Marvel Snap is the next generation of online card games, changing up by not only scratching the Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra itch, but also significantly reducing the match time to under 5 minutes. However, this doesn't compromise on strategy, as you'll still need to be on your toes to one-up your opponent, a perfect combination of time and gameplay that works fantastically on PC and mobile. Another contender to the fighting game genre is Flash Party, a game focused on fast-paced action. While Flash Party definitely doesn't reinvent the wheel with its gameplay, it does bring nicely detailed graphics and a large cast of characters. Where it differentiates itself is because Flash Party is multi-platform on mobile too, so perfect for gamers on the go and fits perfectly with the low system specs. Next today is Summoner's War Chronicles, an MMORPG with a huge amount of content to troll through. There's 3 summoners to choose from and over 350 monsters to have by your side as you go through the loot-filled dungeons. While the gameplay is really solid and the game is quite enjoyable, it does suffer from the classic mobile pay to win. Next today is Kart Rider Drift, Nexon's free-to-play attempt to rival Mario Kart. The gameplay in Drift is awesome, easy to pick up but with a super fast pace, but it's also quite in-depth and competitive. It features deep kart customization too, along with hardcore modes, perfect for casual and hardcore fans. Now graphically, Drift looks fantastic. It's using the Unreal 4 engine, but it's bright, colourful and has lots of detail, a well-rounded package. The indie games are out in force today, as next we have Hats and Hand Grenades, a free-to-play cover-based twin-stick shooter. The core idea here is simple: shoot guns, throw grenades, take cover and steal hats in this party game. The gameplay is awesome and the pixelated visuals are as well, with the uniquely created artwork really drawing your eye. It's also easy to run, you just need a 1.5 GHz processor and a gig of RAM. Next is Outpath, a game that is very much inspired by Satisfactory, Minecraft and Forager, but also adds in the gameplay loop of clicker/idle games into a super unique combination. In this blocky title, you gather, craft and manage your resources while building your base, all while trying to buy new islands that you can explore. Unfortunately, this is only a small taste of the full paid game, but it's a fun time nevertheless. Next is Unsolved Case, a prequel to the cooperative point-and-click puzzle game called Cryptic Killer. In this game, you play as detective duo Old Dog and Alley, where you encounter a labyrinth of puzzles and challenges laid by one of the most devious minds in the world. Cracking the puzzles with your teammate is extremely fun, and the comic book style visuals just top it off, well worth checking out. Epic Games' Paragon was the next generation of MOBAs, however it was unfortunately canned many years ago. They did release all the assets for free though, inspiring a ton of new games, and one of them is Paragon the Overprime. Visually it looks very similar, but the gameplay is more of a MOBA meets team brawler, with faster and more kill heavy gameplay. If you're a fan of the original, definitely have a look at this one. A huge throwback to a childhood classic is Chicken Invaders Universe, a top-down shoot-'em-up that hits the mark. The gameplay is relatively straightforward: shoot and keep shooting with over 200 enemies on screen, using the large array of weapons to take them out. There's tons of content with plenty of missions and star systems to explore, perfect for Chicken Invaders fans. A new take on the competitive card game is Duelist 2, a game based on beautifully animated pixel art cards led by Blizzard Entertainment's former lead producer. Using the turn-based combat style, you position your units, with the goal being to destroy the general. The graphics and art, from the actual gameplay to the cards themselves, look awesome, and really take this game to the next level, worth checking out for card game or strategy fans. A game that most definitely deserves a spot on this list is Call of Duty Warzone 2. The follow-up to one of the most popular Battle Royale games of all time, Warzone 2 takes things to the next level. In exactly the same way they did for Warzone 2, Infinity Ward has taken the base Modern Warfare 2 game and just ported it over to a free-to-play Battle Royale version. This results in fantastic gameplay, beautiful graphics, and a huge player base, perfect combinations for a really good free-to-play game. By far, one of the weirdest games on today's list is Babdi, a short first-person exploration game with a big emphasis on atmosphere and story. While it doesn't take long to complete, it's packed with detail throughout its playtime, with the dark, gloomy city being the focus, but the cool movement adding a layer of depth that I didn't expect. Definitely a game that is better played than talked about, Babdi is an unrefined but super unique experience. An incredible top-down shooter is next on today's list, and this game is called Empty Shell. While very much in the roguelite genre, Empty Shell takes it to the next level by introducing a deep survival horror atmosphere, making everything feel very tense. The gameplay itself is awesome, featuring randomly generated maps, upgrades, puzzles, and exploration. The only sad thing is that it's just a prologue, but regardless, go and check it out. One of my favourite free-to-play first-person shooters out right now is Shadowline, an arena FPS featuring several traditional PvP modes along with a roguelike co-op mode called Expedition. Gameplay-wise, it's a combination of Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Overwatch and so on, but with the polish not seen from many new free-to-play shooters. It also looks good but doesn't require crazy system specs, only needing an 8th gen i5, 8GB of RAM and the GeForce 750 Ti. Next today is a bullet hell twin-stick shooter with an overwhelmingly positive review rating, and it's called Bloody Hell. Featuring frantic shooter gameplay with a twist, you're able to explore all the arenas that Hell has to offer. Add on top of this the awesome graphics, fantastic art style, and tons of effects, and it's obvious why people like this game, especially as it was made by only 3 students. Check it out. The honorable mention for today is Krunker, a fast-paced first-person shooter playable on browser and Steam, and it's by far one of my favorite games. I've done a ton of videos on it over the years, but with the Season 6 update, I had to mention it again because the game is now in a pretty decent state. Coming up next is World War III, the multiplayer first-person shooter developed by the Farm 51. With gameplay that mixes Battlefield and Call of Duty and graphics rivaling AAA games, World War III is a truly solid title and one of the best free-to-play games that you can play right now.